Once again, it's on. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's your boy Carcino. One more game. Now, so it's quite interesting. Weather is nice. I like it. It's right where it needs to be. Now, let's take a look at this, for instance, When you start thinking about myself and uh, watching marriages and relationships sprout their ugly heads out of the sandbox and say, ta-da! Like, we're here. When you start seeing that, what's up? You got to start asking yourself questions. And I got to say, from learning from a lot of people's relationships and marriages, one thing I have noticed is that when you get married, this is something that the whole world needs to hear. Don't get married if you never solved your underlined problems or issues or innuendos that you have that y'all don't agree with and you never really kind of solved. Do not just put a pin in that and say, oh, we'll solve it once we get married. Because those same things that you thought you could live with, and that's okay, I could fix that later, those things are going to be magnified. By an eon. And you're going to be sitting there answering questions you don't want to answer. You're going to be stuck, confronted with questions you don't want no one to even find out. You are going to be stuck in a world where you're on a plane that only you are the one that's suffering. That's the worst part about the marriage. When you're not happy and the other person is content. Oh, buddy, that makes somebody ready to fight. They be ready to tear something up. Because they're content. And you're not. And you're like, how can you be content? And they be like, I ain't mad. I'm cool. So that pisses them off even more. So you never want to go into a marriage with underlying issues. A man got married wanting to have a family. His wife, she has a job where she travels. She works for an international bank. It was an investment banking, and part of her job is travel. So she's constantly on the move, and to move up in the ranks at her job and get promoted, that was her goal. She went to college for this. She studied and went to college for about 7-8 years. Like she really studied and set herself up because she wanted to run a bank. This was her goal. This was her achievement. This is what she wanted. He wanted a family. So she said, well, when I get to like 20 something or 30 something, I should be ready. 20-something came. They got married when she was 26, so she was 32. Here come the problems. Hey, you're 32, you're getting older now. You're not running the bank, and you haven't moved up. And your boss don't look like he's gonna retire anytime soon. Plus, her friend that worked at the bank, she got 3 kids. And they're basically at the same level. So he's saying, look, I wanted 3 kids at the most, but I do want a child at some point. She wasn't feeling it. She said, give her 2 years, and if she don't, then she'll concede to doing so. So the whole 2 years come around, and he brings it back up. She's 34. She's pissed. You're trying to force me into something I don't want to do, and da 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 da. And so this became an underlying issue that they had to led both of them to get in a divorce and put him through the ringer because she didn't want to get divorced. This is going to hurt her promotion. So they separated, but never divorced. Separated, didn't divorce, put him through hell. He's fighting to get a divorce. She's holding on and never wanted to say anything. So he came with lawyers and everything. He finally got the divorce. He now has, I think, he has 3 or 4 children. He lives in Lake in the Hills. Got 3 children with his new wife. He finally got the divorce, but he went through hell to get it. It took him 2 years to get the divorce. But he's got 3 kids now, but he's older now. He wanted to have these kids when he was younger, and he says that's the only regret he has is that he should have never married that woman in the first place. He knew he was going to have to wrestle to get her to have children. And he's like, now she's miserable and happy. She was just never meant to be married. No. She used him. Pretty much she did. She used him because she wanted more out of life. What she wanted to accomplish out of life, others, she had her own mind set up and she was thinking singular in the whole process. She was thinking about herself. Hmm. Well, if you don't want to get married, going into that false pretense. If you get married going into that false pretense, it is definitely going to lead to a lot of problems. No. Well, it's scenario based. Couples who get married and go through these. No. People who normally go through this is a what you would call. I say this is every couple. Every couple don't. It's like you're not going to be even when you date somebody, you're not. That's y'all are not lock in step. Who's lock in step? No one's always lock in step. It's just that your main goals align. But when people get married, they get married for the wrong damn reasons. And that's where the problems. They never fix or face anything. So if you don't never fix or face anything, you're always going to be constantly here. You're going to be constantly stuck in this mode, complacent, because you don't want to speak up. You don't want to face the facts. You don't want to be the one to blow the whistle. You don't want to be the one to blow things up because that person can't handle news. They react. So it becomes a more bigger issue than what people recognize. So I'm not one to say anything, because I'm not married, so I don't have this problem. Everybody else in the world, they have to deal with it. You have to deal with the other person, and they have to deal with you. So any underlining issues that's a snag in the marriage that you're going to be dealing with down the road, you should address it before you get married because it's going to grow, it's going to manifest, and it's going to go off like a bomb when you're married. That I do know. And I don't have to be married to know that happens. Seen it tonight. I've seen it many other times. And it's normally from a lack of communication and people who don't know how to communicate anymore. People don't know how to communicate without arguing or being fussy or grumpy. Well, that's the reality nowadays. Well, I guess if if most of these people could see, they would be eye doctors. It's a lot of things that's on the table that don't make no damn sense. Look, man, when this whole thing is said and done, just make sure and hope and pray everybody's on the right side of the glass because everything can get trippy, crazy, the whole nine. No, absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not. No, I don't. I don't really care about stuff like that. Um, they had the. Oh no. Let's take Muhammad Ali. You want to go celebrity? Muhammad Ali, baby. Ali. What did Ali do in his first marriage? Now, here's the thing. I met Muhammad Ali's first wife. She wanted a family with Muhammad Ali. That was his first wife. And they got married. And he paid for her home, took care of her. And anytime she wore an outfit, he was complaining because once he joined the Nation of Islam, it changed their relationship because she wasn't going to become Muslim. So that was the problem in the underlining of the relationship. But that was a change that happened within. But I knew her because she eventually had a son, and her son ended up dating my mother. Her son looked like Prince too. It was funny. Mm-hmm. Oh, Remy and Papoose, that video coming tomorrow. Because I'm going to have to take care of that. It's just too much craziness going on in the world, and I'm going to have to address. And that's just, I guess, one of. Yeah, well, stress of marriage is just, it's unbearable at times because it's uncontrollable. You have no control over the situation. It's not like one thing you could do is going to fix everything. And it's more pressure when you have children and you have bills together, you got joint accounts. It's a ball of stress because no one cares about your happiness. Let me tell you right now, the husband's happiness, it doesn't exist. Anything that makes you happy, you had to give that up years ago. If your happiness isn't walking through that door and seeing them and just being happy to see them, that's it. Believe me, buddy, that is gonna fade. And you're gonna be livid. Completely livid. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Oh, shoot. Plenty of marriages. Guy got married to a woman he knew had a problem with shopping. She can't help herself. She gotta buy stuff. Every time she gets in the mall, she has to buy something. She buy things she don't even need. He knew this before they got married. He knew how bad she was with her spending habits before they got married. But since they had kids and she wanted to get married, we got to get married. So they did. And now they are the most unhappiest couple I've ever seen in my life. And they're on the brink of a divorce because of her habits. Her habits are out of control. She's got a whole closet full of shoes she hadn't even worn. More, she's only worn like maybe 2 pair. She even got shoes that she can't even fit. She had to give them to her daughter. She just has to buy things. She just has this compulsive behavior to where she has to buy stuff, even if they don't have the money. And when I mean don't have the money, I mean don't have the freaking money. Taking loans out, signing up for credit cards, getting bills in their kids' names. It's crazy. And he's just seeing like how bad this is. Because he's the one that's trying to fix it all the time. And I'm like, you're just putting a band-aid over it. Yes, he's taking 4 or 5 other jobs, doing extra side jobs, just so he can pay off some of the credit card debt that this person has accumulated, his wife. just to get no affection. It's been out of control. So to get ahead of it is the main key. That's what you want to do. Is like, hey, we got to get ahead of this thing. But it's stressful and mostly on the husband. Everybody be like, no, man, that's sexist. It's the truth. The husband comes home and is the most least appreciated in the family. If you ask anybody, take a poll, who's the most or who's the least appreciated in the family? The kids, the wife, the husband. It's the husband. He's the least appreciated in the entire family. And he feels it. They're stressed. And they trying to find a release and don't know how to find that release. That's where the frustration comes in at. That's where the anger comes in at. Oh, well, people have got to move on, start getting their families and growing and going down this avenue where this is the lane, this is the neighborhood that we want to travel, this road less traveled by. No, not at all. I want to see more people get it right. It's so much so many distractions that keep your marriage in a funk because you don't do anything together anymore. Married couples used to do things together, not just we're going out to dinner to meet so and so. I mean, actually do things together. Like, when the last time you guys get up, walk, read together, do an event together, actually enjoy each other like you did when you were dating? I know they say, well, we got the kids, it's hard, I got the job. And you think of a way to not make it happen instead of thinking a way or of a day you can make it happen. You think of a way out before you even get in it. And that's a sign. That's a sign of disinterest. That's a sign of, I don't really want this. Yeah, stress is a killer.
Mm-mm. Oh, that just to shop, of course. People are weirdos, man. People can be weirdos. What's up, Jamil? I know. I never thought somebody would stoop to that level. Um, but it happens. It's life. It's society. You know, people do what they do now. But I would love to see married couples not just get through things together, but actually try to make it work. You know. All right. Well, anyway, man, I'm gonna get out of here. Shouts out to Kwame Brown Bus Life. Don't forget to follow his page, Ticket TV, Mondo Black TV, Misunderstood. I gotta check on her and see how she's doing. I ain't seen her too much. Hopefully she's doing well. Ticket TV, you probably said that already. Jack Sports with Jose Rodriguez. Welcome to HD TV, and don't forget to follow here and subscribe. Become a member if you didn't.